I made so many oopsie for trying to record this video, but I catched it at like 2 minutes into the video. The video audio wasn't playing. Oops. Anywho, I'm not going to call eNDYMION a muffin bigot. I am going to respond to, in latest video, hopefully I get it uploaded today, who muffin knows. But I'm getting sick and tired of this neurotic argument where Miles Morales ain't Spider-Man. I will explain my case in a moment, but so I don't take eNDYMION out of context, hold on.
Because I don't know about you, but I want to play Spider-Man in my Spider-Man games. And Miles, at least if you ask me, is not Spider-Man, and I don't care how much people try to push him that he isn't. Because if he was Spider-Man, then his own spin-off game wouldn't have had his full legal name displayed on the cover so fans knew who the game actually...
First of all, context in universe. The people in the Marvel Universe wouldn't call Miles Morales. They would call him Black Spider-Man. And no, because he's not, because he's not black. Because he's black. Blah, 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 blah. English Nightmare Muffin. Do I know it? Maybe. They wouldn't call him the Black Spider-Man because his skin color is black. They would call him Black Spider-Man because of the suit. Again, if we go to the example of the regular Spider-Man, he would be called Red Spider-Man because that's the dominant color of his suit. They called him Black Spider-Man when he had the black suit on. And if there was a female Spider-Man with female Spider-Man, a female spider character with watermelons in the suit, they would call that character female Spider-Man, woman Spider-Man, or maybe lady Spider-Man, some pronoun of woman. And they would probably call it the Spider Family. This is context in universe. Hopefully I can make my Italian boy proud. Subscribe to the Pontius. And subscribe to eNDYMION. I do have notification on for him. So again, you want to play as Peter Parker. There's no problem with that. There is no problem, there's no racism, no transphobia, none of that. It's not the character's fault. He'd been written poorly. Same with Peter Parker when he went through the cocked act with, I think it's Bob, what took Gwen away from him, or MJ, or one of the fucking girls away from him, as I hit the up filter of my mic. Again, it's not Peter Parker's fault, he got cocked. I think there's no other talking point, is there? 3 minutes to the muffin point. I'm not going to drag it on. I think it's stupid. He is a Spider-Man. He is part of the Spider-Man family. You can continue saying he's not. That's your opinion. But in context of the universe, he is probably the Black Spider-Man now. He is Miles Morales. He is not Peter Parker, the original Spider-Man. If you want to play as Peter Parker, that's fine. But I want to bring something else up about the game. Now, can I get to the moment? And by the way, I do want to talk about God of War because he brings up God of War. And again, I'm going to call him an idiot with God of War. No. Here we go.
Maybe he's the fall guy. But it shouldn't be that surprising considering where Sweet Baby's mission started, which is...
So this was made by Insomniac Games. Spider-Man 2. And I think they had a budget of $4 million to make it. Yes, the price of Concord. There's a reason why it cost that much. The Insomniac leaks was muffin amazing to see of stupidity. And they paid like $50 million to that to... it wasn't gender studies, it was like something called culture appropriation. It was just complete waste of money. This looks
Quebec,
shit.
Canada.
Right here. And I am going to mute the screen for a moment because I have something saved on my PC. Well, I do want to get up. So again, $4 million. $4 million. Look at that mighty chin. Look at that dirt face. And look at that neck. Look at this animation quality here. It looked like it hadn't been rendered, to be honest. In-game cutscene. Insomniac made Ratchet & Clank Rift Apart. It looks... Well, even the still images look fucking amazing. And they made the original Spider-Man for the PS4. What? Still look good to this day. What happened to the graphical department and animation team? Oof. But yes, so I'm picking on the Spider-Man 2 for a moment, but I'm going to talk about the story now. I do apologize if I'm rambling. I do apologize, Muffin, but I'm a rambler. If they did the story correct in Spider-Man 2, they could have had 2 spin-off games, and I'm going to explain how. If they didn't put Venom in a coma, they could have a Venom game with Harry. Again, that was a possibility. If they wanted Spider-Man 3 to have Peter Parker get married to, I want to call it MJ? I'm just going to say MJ. No, it's Gwen, isn't it? In the Spider-Man. Give me a moment.
Narrate Spider-Man link Mary Jane Watson narrator exiting narrator.
Gwen MJ. Is this the movie? MJ. Yeah, MJ. I do muffin apologize. Long hours of work. And I'm fucking tired. So. Coming to the end of Spider-Man 2. Peter Parker wants to get married and have a child with MJ. And this is where we get Spider-Girl. And you could have had Miles Morales 2, where Miles Morales is looking after New York while Peter Parker is, having his child. He's temporarily out. And Spider-Man 3 could have had you playing as Spider-Girl, Miles Morales, Peter Parker, and Venom. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, 4 of the Spider-Man family. Yes, Venom is considered part of the Spider-Man family. And you could have done it with the Venom movies, what people love. Where Venom is a anti-hero, that's the word I'm looking for, anti-hero. And I have written a better, I'm not going to say a better plot than Spider-Man 2, but I have given you a scenario where you could have made 3 games for the price of 1, and if you entertained them, you could have earned money for it. But the writers of Spider-Man 2 decided not to. And yes, I do agree with him, Demion, on this. Peter Parker, by the sounds of it, was not going to be in Spider-Man 3. What is a very dumb thing to do. Because again, this is my 2 cents. I want characters to move on in the story. If you say Peter Parker is going to retire and leave it to Miles Morales and his daughter, and he's there to help them out sometimes, like as grandfather Spider-Man, I would have bought the game and loved that type of story. But my god, they just abused Peter Parker out through Spider-Man 2. I seen the fucking cutscenes. It is stupid. So that's my thing of bashing Spider-Man 2 and slightly defending it. Now we'll get on to God of War. So where did you talk about God of War? I think it was at the beginning, yeah.
Sony lost a lot of money and credibility when they released that stinker of a game. Especially when you consider that Concord costed Sony more to make Ragnarok. Even for Sony, the games I just said have sold somewhere in the 10 million plus range, which even for Sony, that's not enough it seems these days. After all, when you compare the pre-Sweet Baby Inc. version of...
By the way, that's over... Oh my god, did I include the Steam sales as well? To 7 years of selling the fucking game. Well, no, from 2022 there. So, 4 years of selling the game. How much did God of War Ragnarok
which
sell?
sold somewhere close to 20 million, to Ragnarok, which...
So, we haven't got updated numbers, but allegedly I've sold 15 million in 1 year. How is that a fair comparison? It sold more numbers, and it's only sold more numbers because of that. And, by the way, I do agree with people saying when Assassin's Creed doesn't say it sold, but had played or activation. Yeah, that's stupid. Just say how many copies it sold. You won't, because it didn't sell 1 million fucking copies, did it? That's not a fair comparison. And I do love it when Smash TV showed you earlier this year God of War Ragnarok doing badly because it had the Sweet Baby part of it, not because the port was shit. Again, Last of Us 1 is a good example of, well, where it sold poorly because the port was shit, but they have sold more. Again, Ratchet & Clank, if it did come out in 2013, you know, underperformed. 2 years, haven't even got to 1 million. And original Spider-Man 2012, it's going to get to 3 million. I'm doing bare minimum numbers. It has sold 1 million a year, so people like the game. And if people not going to like this, but this game, it's going to sell 1 million a year. So I can do this, number game, but I can do it properly and actually show you the fucking information. Because it had a black woman in it. Again, I don't want to claim you're being racist here. And no, this ain't a dark whistle where, oh, look, Nightmare Muffin claim I didn't claim I'm being racist. That means he's claiming I'm being Muffin racist. No, don't be Muffin stupid. You're looking dumb. Because the game had a different black character. What was the boar from the first game? Oops, what no one talks about. Because it's Aquaboda. I do like it when the characters. Yes, this character, the giant media empire called Life. I do muffin love it. When one moment people say you can have different interpretations of universes, but you have to have the correct interpretation. The sell numbers is bullshit. It sold 15, it sold well. For some reason, these games are costing, again, 2 million and then some. 60. Well, in the UK it's like $60 for a game, but in America it's like $70. So we'd say do 70. 15. We'll do the proper number. 15 million. It's under billion. But 15,000. That's a million. 15 million. Yeah, a billion. And then some. I think God of War allegedly cost maybe like this much. Have I done the math wrong here? We'd do half of that. $70. Yeah. You know, full price, not on sale. The billion makes a bigger number, but again, gotta minus the 3 million. Not bad profit. And if you did port it correctly to PC, for the first year it sold at full price. That doesn't look bad, does it? Oh wait, no, it come down 2000. My bad. Oh yeah, and God of War sold poorly on the PC. God of War Ragnarok sold poorly on the PC because of the integration with Sony as well. So many reasons why the game sold poorly. So many reasons. How weird. Why only that many played it at once? Huh. You know, there's something weird about the player numbers when a console game comes to PC. It doesn't seem to do well. Why? You know, I could make a separate video on this. Or someone could make a video on this. Good video there. Like, why does these type of games doesn't do well, but on the console it does? Maybe people already played it and don't want to buy another copy just yet? Food for thought. But it's selling well. Stupid
Actually
argument.
sold less than that. It's not really surprising because people don't want this blasphemy in their video games. And of course then you have Spider-Man 2, which was also sweet.
Yeah. Where did you mention people, Kratos was acting like a bitch? I'm a dumbass. You know, if eNDYMION reacts to this video, again, don't take me out of context. You know, you can count the when we're skipping around and blah 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 blah. I might do an edit. But here's the clip.
This means that the next God of War won't have any rainbow axes, or Kratos
didn't have any rainbow axes at the beginning. If it was in a DLC where you could change the skin, what's the fucking problem?
going to a therapy session to talk about his toxic masculinity.
The game never talked about toxic masculinity. Kratos went through character development, characters can't go for development.
This news isn't surprising to someone like me. After all, Concord's 4.
Okay. So let's get to the muffin point here. I wanted to make the joke of, is he going to do a cosmic TV moment where this bitch needs a slap because you don't tell a man what to do? The famous moment when he got to that. But here we go. Characters go through development through their lives. You change as a human being. Kratos in God of War 18 was trying to be a calmer person and not go to raids, but also being isolated because he didn't want to get involved with the modern world. Atreus wanted to get involved with the modern world. He wanted to get out there for adventure, blah blah blah, the youth of children, blah 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 blah. Again, you can see that in God of War Ragnarok. I can tell you a moment in Spider-Man what makes no fucking sense in Spider-Man 2. And it's not because of he got a fridge thrown at him and couldn't lift it straight off. When you fight Mary Jane as a boss fight, yes, you fight MJ as a boss fight in Spider-Man 2. because her getting infected by the symbiote. And Peter Parker basically cooked himself. Peter Parker got abused, saying, "I am not a hero, it is you, the one who do the journalism. The hero who has the superpowers ain't a hero because someone can do journalism. What a 10 out of 10 hero." An example of demasculating Peter Parker. And, by the way, I think the original story director said they didn't want to do the MJ and Peter Parker argument ship. That's why they skipped the story in Spider-Man 1. By the way, so it's hearing about the Spider-Man 2 story and seeing some clips of it, most people think Spider-Man 1 was a shit story. That was a masterpiece compared to fucking Spider-Man 2. 10 out of 10 story. But so was the cocking in for Kratos. And put it into context. Because, again, Odin, this guy, goes to see Kratos and talks about, "I have your boy. It would be the same if something bad happened to him." And Kratos say, "You know what I did to my gods? I can do the same thing to your dynasty," or whatever nonsense. By the way, I'm not saying that's awkward, but it's basically like that. Where the demasculation, again, Sweet Baby 1, we've got a War Ragnarok. We don't know how much they actually did for the game, but would say they did change one of the characters to black, and that's Equabota. By the way, if you want the biggest insult to Equabota character, her belly in the game. And if, by the way, if Demion brings up the moment where Equabota said, "I can take you, Kratos," Equipota's a child. I'm going to show my Italianness here, by the way. Out of my lifespan, I had 50 muffin nephews to look after. You know, children to fucking teenagers, and I still look after them when they're fucking adults. Ugh. Family is family. A 6-year-old nephew, one of my 6-year-old nephews said he could take me because he got told the stories of me being in college and all the fights I got into. And I basically went to my nephew and said, "Oh, I better not take you then. You might beat me up." It's a fucking child. Again, context of the story mattered. Like, the fucking cell numbers. Actual doing the math. The math, for fuck's sake. Oh, and by the way, Last of Us 2, $60. Allegedly, I think it's sold. We'll just do the 10 million thing. 10 million units. And it cost pure profit for Neil Druckmann. It sold well, but the context why it sold well, because the first game was a massive hit with people. And I think this is the problem what Ademion, Nodrotic, and all these other people get. It's feel like you're crafting a narrative to shit on something. And I don't want to go to EFAP with Mole and Springy and all those people, Rags. They did a fucking video taking down Synthetic Man. And by the way, I recommend people should watch Synthetic Man videos. He is just insanely... His reviews are insanely dumb. They're just... They make no fucking sense. One moment he complained about God of War difficulty being too easy. He put it on the hardest difficulty and said the game is too hard. In the review he can go, the difficulty is shit. Like, oh my fucking god. There's a stupidity of him. It's amazing. But I want to see the moment you think when Kratos is being a bitch. And again, I'm explaining the game, the God of War character's story, very poorly. I'm not going to say, the first couple of games of God of War were sexist, wrong for being this our fantasy. No, the first game is a Greek tragedy narrative, where you see the rise of the hero and the fall of the hero. Nord mythology is about becoming the hero, the tale of that, where Kratos get put back on the horse. I do want to play a game of Atreus. I think the future of God of War is with Atreus, and him fighting the gods he's going to fight, maybe Egyptian or Japanese, whatever gods. And not because, again, Kratos is a bad character or blah blah blah. It is character development. I could bring up Dragon Ball Z. People are sick to death of seeing fucking Goku. People want to see the narrative for Trunks. Oh, for fuck's sake, I'm forgetting. Gohan, Goten. The continuation. The same thing with the Spider-Man fans back in the early 2090s. We don't want a constant reboot of Peter Parker getting bullied and not getting the girl. We want to see the future of the Spider-Man family, when he does have his daughter Spider-Girl and teach her the ropes of being a hero. We don't want to continue seeing Peter Parker get fucking tortured. We're not fucking masochists. Stories needs to continue and move forward. If Kratos couldn't evolve, because again, the point of Kratos wanted revenge. That was the point of the first narrative of the story of God of War. He just constantly wants more and more revenge. And he gets it and he destroys the entire world. The world come back and blah blah blah. What, do you want Kratos to continue being angry and just going, I need to kill more gods? Or how do you expect the character to move on? And again, spoilers for God of War Ragnarok, Brock dies and Sindri becomes a badass in the fucking game. He locks in and get motivated to help the boys out to kill Orin. Oh, fuck. By the way, do not get in fights. Brain damage a bit for Odin. Again, I did hunt the clip down. I'm not trying to take a demon out of context. But you could make the point and show a clip of a game. And by the way, don't be like the people who don't play the fucking game. Actually play the game. Because God of War is one of the games, God of War 18, God of War Ragnarok, even the first games, just showing a random clip while playing it, you don't understand. And again, I'm not fully criticizing Spider-Man 2 because I haven't played it. I am. Fuck it. I'm being a hypocrite. Yeah, my bias is on. I like the fucking game. I enjoy it. I'm getting sick and tired of these dumb fucking arguments. And it comes from some people, again, I want to bring up Smash Day TV. I haven't played the game, but look at the wokeness. I feel like fucking Eggman sometimes, like, yeah. People are being stupid, but just keep saying woke. Again, by the way, eNDYMION makes a point in the video where Black Girl game is part of Sweet Baby. It's an Ouroboros where it just goes back into itself. There's just so many components where it just connects. And there was something leaked, like last year. So when Ratchet & Clank Rift Apart, a couple of Sweet Baby members worked on it. And I played the game. Coming to the end of the game, when you go to the pirate world, there's a moment where you are in this museum, this boat ride, where the pirates respect strong women. People said, no, let's fucking see. And it's out of fucking place. It makes no fucking sense. But the game's good. The story's good. I don't feel like Ratchet get bullied for it. I'm happy to maybe, depends on the story, I'm happy to buy a game where you play as Rivet. I like the character. They weren't obnoxious. But also Sweet Baby did work on Hogwarts Legacy. And it's just this weird Ouroboros nonsense. They won a couple of things. That's the truth. Sweet Baby did win because some of the game did so well. Some. A lot of games are doing poorly. And we'll be honest, it's because Sweet Baby can't do fucking narratives. God of War Ragnarok is one of them what did win. I just don't get it. Is it hard to tell the fucking truth sometimes? Oh no, I'm doing a fucking Assan. Is it hard to tell the truth? Admin Gold, you wrote bigot? I don't want to do the lefty nonsense. I do apologize for rambling and all that, but it's my point. To summarize the narrative here. Miles Morales is Spider-Man. People want to play as Peter Parker, but also the Spider-Man family and Venom. If they did the narrative correctly in Spider-Man 2, they would have had a Venom side game, a Miles Morales side game, Spider-Man 3, and maybe, if they were good at the narrative, Spider-Man 4 or Spider-Girl spin-off, then Spider-Man 4. Maybe you see Peter Parker as an old man, Miles Morales has a daughter, a son, whatever, and you just see the next generation. You know, continuing on the narrative with that. I'm sick and tired of people keep saying the game did poorly, God of War Ragnarok, because of Equibuilder being black. The biggest own is Equibuilder's not important to the story. That is the fucking truth. And people take numbers out of context. It sold 7 million. I don't get this. I don't understand it. You think people with 7 million, maybe more people playing it at once. I don't understand these numbers. I don't. And sometimes when your enemy wins, just fucking admits they won. And again, respect the fucking law like my Italian brother. Is that muffin to say about it? Yes. And if do you do live streams or do you do live streams on Twitch? You do live streams. Invite me on. We could maybe do good podcasts. You know, people like banter. You can call me an idiot. I can call you an idiot. We can have a beer and do the crack and nonsense if you want. I think you should subscribe to eNDYMION again. Videos are good. I am behind on some content. But man, some of the people are fucking correct. You do feel like a show sometimes. Or just... It's like that NPC meme where the left removed the chip and put it back in. Now you need to be angry at Elon Musk, forget Donald Trump. That type of meme. And I'm just rambling. Anyway, like, comment, subscribe, and stay muffin sweet.